How often do we procrastinate as people? How often have you got something on your list or you've started something and you procrastinate to either completely start it or to take it to the next level or even to get it to where it's going to be profitable for you? Procrastination is that one thing that we do and we don't even think we're doing it. It just happens. It's actually a habit. So when you're looking at getting rid of habits that hold you back, habits that stop you in your tracks, habits that are actually no good for you, and we have created these habits over time, nothing happens immediately. A habit is created over time of consistently doing it over and over again. Have you ever noticed as a child maybe that maybe as a child you were procrastinating to get your homework done, you were procrastinating to do your chores? It starts with not wanting to do something. That's what procrastination is and does for us, and to us, I should say. So when you start looking back, and I'm just getting this in here for you, looking back at your childhood and when you first noticed yourself procrastinating, looking back, when did it start? When did procrastinating start being the ugly villain that shows up? Maybe you were afraid. Maybe it came out of fear. Looking back, when did it start? A lot of people will, hold on. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay. I'm just going to get this here because I want you to have this. And this is sad because procrastination is actually a habit that has been procured and developed over years of time. And normally we procrastinate because we don't want to do something. Oh, I will do that later. This isn't very important. I will take care of that later. And how often does later never come for that procrastination? So if you're in that predicament right now where you are procrastinating about getting anything done, about doing anything, stop and ask yourself, why am I procrastinating? Why don't I just do this? Excuse me. So the number one key to stop procrastinating is to stop procrastinating. So what can you do instead of putting things off, instead of giving yourself a boatload of excuses as to why you're not doing something, as to why you're not going to get this done, as to, different things that's going to make you feel better in the process of you procrastinating? So take a breakdown of what it is that you really need to do. Is it on your goals list? Is it on just a honey-do list? Is it on I just need to get this done to get this whole thing complete? Is it a project? Is it a course you're building? Is it a campaign you need to put out for your business? Whatever it is, there's a whole list of different options or different things it could be. So when I say stop procrastinating when it starts, I mean when you have something that you know you need to do, you know it has to be done, and yet you are procrastinating getting started, or you're procrastinating finishing it. Maybe you've started halfway through and then all of a sudden, you got sidetracked, you're going on to something else, instead of just finishing the project and getting it done. Granted, there's going to be other things that are more important on your list that you need to do. That's a given. It's going to happen. But don't procrastinate on finishing the target that you have. You set these lists up for yourself. No one else is responsible for what needs to be done in your life except you. So that's number one. Just stop procrastinating and just make the steps and make the effort to do it and do it. Number two is break your task down. If you're procrastinating because maybe it's a really long process that you need to do, it's going to take a long time. What happens when you break things down into small chunk-like pieces? And we've talked about this before in other trainings that we've done, is when you break these down into small chunk-like pieces, then it's not so overwhelming and it's not so taking over everything in your life. It is breaking it down into small pieces. And it's easier to complete something if it's in small pieces. And most of us do this in hindsight, but not in real life. And when you do, don't you think that it makes things not so hard on yourself? Not so, well, if I don't do this, I got to do that. I have this and I have that and I blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of blah, blah, blah going on this week. But when you break it down into small chunk-like pieces, it is so much simpler. Hold on. It's so much simpler to get things done. And bite-sized pieces means you created it and you're going to break it down in the best way that's going to work for you. Okay? That is number two. Number three is, this one's a little bit more technical, so listen up. Use the Zeigarnik method, which is actually a memory method, and it's been used forever by a lot of people. So when you use this, it is a method of remembering. It's a method of memorizing. Have you ever been to a restaurant? Of course you have. And the waitress is not writing down your order. She's just asking you, and she's actually using the Zeigarnik method to remember your order and what you want and how you want it. So this is a really technical way, and a lot of people are using it nowadays. And a lot of us don't even realize, well, if you don't write my order down, then how are you going to remember what I want? I have a technical order, a food order, and if it's not the way I want it, I'm going to be upset. So keep in mind that these people that are using this method are mastering it, and they're using it to their ability, and they are relaying the order that you give them. They're relaying it to the cook, which goes into a system, an order system. And once they do that, and then the order comes up and they bring your food to you, once they do that, this method, the Zeigarnik method, actually releases the thought. So now that thought is gone. Your order is done. They've delivered it to your table. They've made sure you're okay, and you can eat your meal. Well, at that point, the mind says, okay, that's done. On to something else. And a person that is well versed in this method can and does take several orders and does them repetitively and remembers all of it. So you too can use the Zeigarnik method for remembering your own things that you need to do for your life. If it's a business, if you have a job, whatever it is you're doing, that you need to be able to remember things and you be able to not procrastinate to get these things done. When you do this and you use this method, you can do some more research on it, and I will have another broadcast that I will do to do more details on this method, because it is amazing how we can use this memory method to use our memory to our best advantage. And there's a lot more on memory and different things you can do, because your memory is always there. It's been a proven neural fact that your memory is always there. It's just a matter of us retrieving those memories. But as you're working through your steps and what you're doing and procrastinating getting it done, or seeing the outcome or seeing the end results, when you do this and you do it right and you get yourself, don't you think you're going to see more results in what you're working on? Don't you think you're going to see better results in your business? And don't you think you're going to see more results in your income by getting your tasks done, by breaking the task down to the small bits and doing a little bit at a time, a little bit, a step by step, because every time you finish a step, that's going to take you that much closer to the end result. And a lot of people out there, not just you and me, we need to have consistent, repetitive finishing to see a result to keep us motivated to move us forward. So when you do this, and you're going to see that it just keeps going more and more, and you just keep getting better and better and better at what you're doing, then why not use these methods of growing, of being, of doing, of having, of creating what you want, and stop procrastinating in the process? Because when you procrastinate, the only person you're actually holding back is yourself. The only person that's being held back by anything you do is you. You're the only one that does that. So keep in mind, my nose itches, keep in mind that whatever you're doing, whatever your focus is, whatever your outcome is wanting to be, you want to look at stop procrastinating, break your task down, and use the Zeigarnik method to remember what it is you need to do and what it is, the steps you need to have. Because when you do this, you will find success. And it is, when I first started doing this is just for me. It may not work for you, but when I first started doing this, it was hard. It was hard to reschedule myself and to break everything down into little bite-sized pieces, because I'm an impatient person. I want things done, and I want them done now. I want them done, but I have so much on my plate. I was like, how am I going to do this? There's not enough hours in the day, and there's only one me. So when I realized that I needed to break things down and to make them easier to digest, so to speak, then not only did my life get easier, but my results were much better. So take this to heart and use these tools. There's 3 steps. You can't go wrong with 3 steps. I try to break things down and make them as easy as I can for you, because it's easier for people to get the sales, get the campaigns going, get the courses going for your business if you break it down into small bite-sized pieces. And don't procrastinate by breaking it down and saying, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm not procrastinating. And realize when you start to procrastinate, do it consciously of saying, no, we're going to get this done. We're going to break it down. Write it on paper. Keep it in front of you. It is there for a reason. You wouldn't have created this goal, this system, for if you didn't need it. If it wasn't something you needed to do, you wouldn't have created it. It's nobody else. It's just you. So use this, and please spread this around, because I keep hearing chatter about how I'm not getting this done, and because I can't remember, or I'm not happening because it's so big and I just don't have time, and it's procrastination. Share this with as many people as you know need it, and help them, and give your own videos and do your own progress report for people and help them. That is a huge plus that you can do for a lot of people. Okay, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and share. And if you have a mind to, hit the dinger bell so you can get notifications whenever we do a live. Isn't that amazing? Or put out a video, for that matter. I do one every day. So I have a training up here for you. It is for you to get more leads, and this campaign is a given. You definitely got to get going with this and get started, because you know what? It's already the middle of January, 23rd. So close to the end. And what have you done so far? Just a question. Okay, I will talk to you later. And no procrastination.